going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm here at Leeds Arena and I bump in to Mr. Jordan Gill. First of all, how are you?
All good, thank you.
Excellent. Just obviously, I'm assuming you're here to watch Hopey. He's just done the business in emphatic fashion, as he always does. Good points victory for him.
Yeah, he boxed really well. On point, sharp, done what he had to do. Closed the year out in good fashion and boxed very sharp, very smart, nice work. Practiced things that he's done in the gym, and yeah, he looked good. Pleased with him.
Do you think he can move on to titles next year? Eddie said that's his last 8-rounder. Surely big fights for him in 2023.
Yeah, 100%. I think he needs them title fights now. I think he's a fighter that's going to look better against fighters that are better. You know, he'll raise his game. And I think, yeah, he's more than ready for titles. You look at the domestic scene, I'd put him in with anyone.
I know he's just coming off of a loss, but a massive local fight here would be Jack Bateson. Could you see that one potentially happening?
Yeah, that'd be great. The thing is now, like, the fighters that are coming off a loss don't want to fight other prospects today. So, like, maybe Bateson won't have that fight after the Shabazz Massoud fight, but. You know, for Hopey, looking at Bateson, that'd be a great fight for him. It'd be a good local rivalry and be a fight that people would be interested in. And I think it's a great stepping stone for Hopey. You know, he's got supreme talent. He's a world-class prospect. So, you know, they're the sort of fights you'd be looking at next. If you can't get him, you'd probably be looking at people like Mark Leach and other fighters of that calibre. So he really needs them big tests now.
You're in the gym with him all the time. How good is Hopey and what level can he get to?
He can go as far as he wants to go. He's fantastic. He's one of the best prospects that I've ever seen. He can do a bit of everything. You know, he's sharp, he can punch, which is developing that power and developing his strength. He's very young. He's got freakish size for the weight and doesn't struggle to make the weight. He's got a great boxing IQ. He can go forward, he can go back. You know, he can give you angles. I don't want to give away. You know, I don't want to scare everybody off from fighting him, or he might not get an opponent.
Let's get to yourself then. It's been, I think, 4 or 5 weeks now since the loss. Just taking time to reflect from that Kiko Martinez fight. How are you coping with that loss?
Yeah, I mean, you're coping. You just have to get up and carry on, don't you? It's one of them things. It's sport, you lose sometimes, and that's what happened.
Going into that fight, was everything all right? You was ready for the Kiko. You never kind of know what Kiko brings. He's always going to be tough, he's always going to be there, but sometimes he just turns it up a notch, doesn't he? Yeah,
I mean, he's a good fighter. He was world champion at the start of this year. If I'd boxed him in February, it'd be for the world title, but he's a solid fighter, and you know, he was better than me on the night. Everything was good going into the fight. I was in my prime. I was in great condition, and I was really fit. I felt strong. Just wasn't my night.
Was it one particular shot he caught you with early on that kind of led it to go down the way it was, or was it just the way he boxed throughout?
Yeah, I mean, stylistically, it was always going to be a tricky fight for me. I think. You know, yeah, he's a good fighter, and in the second round, I remember I felt good in the first round. He caught me in the second round, and my legs buckled a bit in the second, and I just never recovered after that. So, you know, it was frustrating for me because as soon as I got hit, I just found myself on the floor, and you're like, fuck. I'm scrambling to get up, but you got to get up. You want to win. You're so desperate to win the fight, then you sort of get up onto your feet in a flash, and try and carry on. But you know, when you haven't got it in you, you haven't got it in you. And I didn't have the punch resistance that night.
Would you say this loss has been different to your first loss because you know you was battling through illness for that one, and this one was kind of a bit more brutal?
Yeah, I mean. They're both hard. The first one, I'd say I was a lot more disappointed with, even though obviously this was a bigger fight and it meant the world to me. But The first one, I knew I shouldn't have been in the ring after I had a lot of regrets. This one, what happened. I was in good condition. I was mentally switched on. I wanted to win, and I didn't win. I got beat by the better man. And, in sport, it hurts, but you can live with it. You Manchester United they're expected to win every week, and they don't. Sometimes they win every other week, and sometimes they don't win for 6 games in a row, but no one sort of gives them shit. I think it's boxing. When you're boxing at world level, you're going to take losses, unless you're Floyd Mayweather, but that night just wasn't for me.
A fight that's heavily rumoured now for next year is Lara versus Kiko. Do you think that fight should happen next, and who do you favour?
I don't know. Well, I think they're number 1 and 2 in the IBF ranking. So if they order a final eliminator, and they haven't got other fights coming up themselves, which they might do, then it makes sense. But I think it's a good fight. I think Lara's got power, Kiko's got power. I think defensively, Kiko's probably tighter. I think durability-wise, Kiko, he's probably a bit better defensively as well. But Lara's young, he's fresh, and he's got world title ambitions himself. So it'd be a great fight.
Do you think Lee Wood should honour the Lara fight? Obviously, that was meant to happen in Nottingham in September. It's now looking like Wood's going to be out in the latter stages of January. So do you think that should be against Lara?
It should be against whoever Lee wants to fight. He's earned the right to have a defence of whoever he wants. I know he wants a Lara fight. I was down in Harlow with him last week, and I think that's probably the fight that they're going to make. I don't know. Yeah, I think it'd be a great fight. I think Lee will flatten him.
What's next for you in 2023, Jordan?
For me, at the moment, I'm taking a little bit of time out. I'm reflecting, making sure that move on in the right way. My days at featherweight are done. I'm going to fight at super featherweight. And yeah, I think there's some big fights there for me, and I'm looking forward to it.
So we'll definitely see you back in the ring in 2023?
I think so.
Excellent. Just, you say you're done at featherweight. A fight that was talked about, and he's been very vocal about it over the past couple of weeks, is the Isaac Lowe fight. Your names have been kind of bandied about together for years now, and it just kind of never really happened. So is that a fight you'd still be open to if he were to say, OK, we'll do this at super feather or maybe a catchweight? Yeah,
100%. I'll do it at catchweight, only for him. But yeah, we've our names have been tied together for a long time. He doesn't like me. I'm not too keen on him. So, if the fight gets made, I'll be a happy man.
Last one. This is probably going to go out tomorrow, but just want to get your prediction on the main event. It's a really good 50-50 fight here in Leeds. Warrington versus Lopez. Who have you got?
I think Warrington on points. I think he might have to ride out a few sticky spells, but I think he can ride enough on his gloves and his arms to come back and catch him in between attacks and, win the rounds and get the points victory.
Excellent, Jordan. Thank you very much for speaking to IFL, and I'll let you get back to the boxing.
Cheers, mate. It's free.
Cheers. Yeah, it is.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.